So today I'd like to introduce a book that is one of my favorite. So Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. It's a very, very old author in a sense. So when I was late teenagers, early adulthood, I loved this book because of the romance and love story in there. And in particular, in that particular period in England, so the struggle for women thinking about whether they want to marry for love or that they want to marry for status and wealth. I also find this book extremely interesting because you can actually understand the dialogue a lot better, understanding the strategy that different characters are putting forward, and the message above the language, what we call meta language. The very first scene is the parents of the main characters, Mr. and Mrs. Bennet, when they come out of the church, and Mrs. Bennet heard that there is a single male coming into the town. And so the very first sentence is, "It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife." And so Mrs. Bennet asked Mr. Bennet about that. Mr. Bennet asked, "Is he married or single?" Mrs. Bennet said, "Oh, single, my dear, to be sure. A single man of large fortune, 4,000 or 5,000 a year. What a fine thing for our girls." "How so? How can it affect them?" So here you can see that they are actually going back and forth. Mr. Bennet already know what is in the mind of Mrs. Bennet, but he's teasing her. You get to understand the social background, the struggle of the romance that was happening there, and very, very rich characters.